There comes a moment in every life when the noise fades, and the soul finally whispers, "I can't keep living like this." It's the moment when pride bows to pain, when strength runs out, and silence becomes louder than success. In that stillness, a voice calls, gentle yet commanding, "Son, come home. I'm ready to rewrite." These are not words of condemnation, but of restoration. They are the heartbeat of a father who never stopped believing in his child, no matter how far they've gone. John 14:6 reminds us that Jesus said, "I am the way, and the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me." These words aren't just a direction, they are a declaration, that no life is too broken, no heart too far gone, and no story too damaged to be rewritten by the grace of Christ. There comes a point in life when the noise around us grows so loud that we can't even hear our own heartbeat anymore. We chase goals, approval, pleasure, and validation, believing that somewhere out there lies the version of life we've been longing for. The young man in this story felt exactly that. He left his father's home not out of rebellion, but out of a desire to prove himself. He wanted to build a name, to create something of his own, to live without boundaries. At first, everything felt exciting, the lights, the laughter, the freedom. But as the nights grew longer and the noise faded, an emptiness began to echo inside him. The thrill that once gave him energy now left him drained. The friends that once surrounded him were gone. And in the mirror, he no longer recognized the person staring back. This is where many of us find ourselves, not necessarily lost in the world, but lost within ourselves. We keep moving, working, and pretending we're fine, but deep down, something is missing. That missing piece isn't success or status, it's peace. It's the sense of belonging that no achievement can ever buy. The young man's journey is a reflection of the human condition, our tendency to run from the very love that could heal us. We run because we're afraid of disappointment. We run because we think we've gone too far. But no matter how far we go, that whisper never stops calling. "Son, come home." Those three words are not a command, they're an invitation. They don't carry anger, they carry affection. They come from the Father's heart, reaching across the miles of our mistakes and the walls of our pride. That call isn't about returning to a building, a religion, or a ritual, it's about returning to a relationship. It's the voice of the one who created us saying, "You were never meant to do this alone." The young man pauses on the road one night, tired and broken, clutching the last remnants of what once was. His clothes are torn, his heart heavier than his steps. For the first time in a long time, he looks up. He remembers his father's eyes, kind, patient, full of understanding. He remembers the warmth of home, not the place, but the love that lived there. And suddenly, he feels something he hasn't felt in years: hope. That's what happens when the truth begins to reach the heart. The way home may look long, but it's closer than we think because Jesus is that way. He is not a distant God waiting with a list of wrongs, He's the Savior waiting with open arms. The whisper of "come home" is not just a reminder of what we left, it's a promise of what we can still become. Every story of wandering can still become a story of return. Every heart that feels too far gone is still one step away from grace. Because in that step back toward Him, the journey of rewriting truly begins. As the young man finally gathers the courage to turn back, he realizes something profound. Coming home isn't as simple as taking steps toward a familiar place. It's a battle between shame and hope, between guilt and grace. Every step forward is met with the whisper of his failures. His mind replays every mistake, every wrong choice, every moment of arrogance. The weight of the past tries to chain him down, whispering, "You're not worthy to go back." But somewhere deep within, that quiet, persistent voice of love speaks again. "Keep walking. I'm still here." This is where John 14:6 comes alive. Jesus said, "I am the way, and the truth, and the life." He didn't say He would show us the way, He said He is the way. Because when we're lost, we don't need directions, we need a guide. We don't need a map, we need a person who knows the road home. The young man's journey mirrors ours. How often do we try to fix our lives by our own strength, to clean up before coming back, to rewrite our story before handing it over to the author? But grace doesn't work that way. Jesus doesn't wait for perfection, He walks with us through imperfection. He doesn't demand we come spotless, He meets us in our stains and carries us back in love. As the young man continues his journey, the terrain begins to change. The same road that once led him away now feels different under his feet. It's as if every step toward home has purpose. The sun begins to rise, and in its light, he feels something new: peace. Not the shallow peace of momentary comfort, but a deep, quiet assurance that he's finally walking in the right direction. That's what Jesus means when He says, "I am the way." When we walk with Him, even through pain, we're walking toward purpose. Then comes the truth. For so long, the young man believed lies, that he was unworthy, that his past defined him, that his mistakes disqualified him from love. But in Christ, truth exposes lies and replaces them with grace. The truth is not a weapon to wound us, it's a light to guide us. It doesn't shame, it restores. Jesus' truth is not about what we've done wrong, it's about what He's already made right. The young man begins to understand that the Father's love was never earned, and therefore could never be lost. Finally, the life. As he walks, he starts to feel alive again. His heart beats with hope, his eyes lift toward the horizon, and his spirit, once broken, begins to heal. The life Jesus offers isn't a distant promise of heaven someday, it's the rebirth of meaning today. It's waking up and realizing that even our scars can serve a purpose. The young man's pain becomes his teacher, his failures become testimonies, and his return becomes a symbol of God's relentless love. And just as he nears the edge of home, something shifts in his heart, the realization that this journey was never about distance. It was about discovery. He didn't just find his way back to his father's house, he found the way, the truth, and the life himself, and that changed everything. As the young man reaches the edge of home, his heart pounds harder than it ever has. Every step closer brings a new wave of fear. What if his father refuses to see him? What if his mistakes have erased his place at home forever? He rehearses his apology under his breath, over and over. "Father, I'm sorry. I don't deserve to be your son. Just make me a servant." The words tremble on his lips, heavy with guilt, yet carrying a faint glimmer of hope. But before he can even take the final step through the gate, something extraordinary happens. He sees his father running toward him. Not walking. Not waiting. Running. The sight overwhelms him. The father, older now, tears streaming down his face, doesn't wait for explanations. He doesn't ask where the boy has been or what he's done. He doesn't lecture, accuse, or condemn. Instead, he throws his arms around his son and pulls him close, as if to say, "You may have left home, but home never left you." In that embrace, every wound begins to heal. The young man weeps into his father's chest, the weight of years melting away in seconds. This moment, is what grace looks like. It's love moving faster than shame. It's forgiveness running faster than failure. This is the heart of John 14:6. Jesus said, "I am the way, and the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me." It's not a verse of exclusion, it's a declaration of invitation. Only through Jesus can we experience this kind of embrace, because He's the bridge that reconnects heaven and humanity. The Father in this story represents God Himself, not distant or disappointed, but deeply devoted. He doesn't stand behind locked doors, He runs through open fields to reach the ones coming home. The young man barely gets the first line of his apology out before his father interrupts him. "Bring the robe. Bring the ring. Prepare the feast, my son has returned." The robe covers his shame, the ring restores his authority, and the feast celebrates his redemption. That's how grace works. It doesn't just forgive you, it reinstates you. It doesn't merely erase the past, it writes a better future. What was once a story of rebellion now becomes a testimony of restoration. And in that moment, the son realizes something profound. His father's love had never depended on his performance. It was always unconditional. The home he feared he'd lost had been waiting for him all along. That's the message of Jesus to every weary heart today. No matter how far you've drifted, no matter what your past holds, God is still whispering the same words, "Son, come home. I'm ready to rewrite." Because grace is not about who you've been, it's about who you're becoming in His love. The Father doesn't just give second chances, He gives new beginnings. The Son doesn't just forgive your past, He transforms your future. And the Spirit doesn't just comfort, He restores, rebuilds, and renews. So if you're standing on the edge of surrender, wondering if you can ever go back, the answer is yes. Yes, you can. The weight has been made. The truth has been spoken. The life has been offered. All that's left is for you to take that step, the one that leads home. Because the moment you turn your heart toward Him, the Father is already running toward you, arms wide, heart full, whispering across eternity, "Welcome home." Let's begin again. So here we stand, at the crossroads of who we were and who we're meant to be. Maybe your road has been long, your heart heavy, your past filled with silence and regret. But hear this truth, you were never too far for grace to find you. The same Jesus who declared, "I am the way, the truth, and the life," is still calling your name today. He's not waiting behind walls of judgment, He's running toward you with arms wide open. He's not holding your failures against you, He's holding your future for you. The Father isn't asking for explanations, He's offering restoration. So take the step. Come home. Let God rewrite the chapters you thought were over. Let Him turn your pain into purpose, your wounds into wisdom, your tears into testimony, because your story isn't finished, it's just being rewritten by the hands of grace. And when you finally let Him lead the pen, you'll discover what life truly means, not a life without struggle, but a life filled with peace, redemption, and eternal love. The Father is calling. The way is open. The truth still stands. The life is waiting. Son, come home, He's ready to rewrite.